Welcome to the Matawan-Aberdeen School District's regular action meeting on January 24th, 2022. Time is now 6:31 p.m. Mr. Van Horn.
Thank you very much. My name is Mark Van Horn, and I'm the proud principal here at Cliffwood School. And one of the best parts of my job is, well, first let me back up. We're going to do the flag salute. One of the best parts of my job is I get to highlight the great things that Cliffwood students and staff are doing on a regular basis. And if you just give me 1 second, I'm just going to share my screen, and I'm going to have a couple of our students lead us in the pledge. Just real quick before they actually get to the pledge, I just want to talk a little bit about this homeroom. The kids that you're about to see are some of our third graders here at Cliffwood. They come from homeroom 20. This is Mrs. A. Pappas' class. And the reason why I was so proud to have them do the flag salute tonight is, if you don't already know, we do iReady benchmark testing 3 times a year here in district. And part of my job is to look at that growth, look at that data, and look for the kids' growth and how well they've improved as the school year has progressed. And when we looked at the growth that all of our students made from September to January, one class stood out in particular. And Mrs. Pappas' students from homeroom 20 grew, this is amazing, you gotta listen to this. In reading, 69% of her students moved at least 1 level on their iReady score, so from red to yellow to green. 73% of her students moved at least 1 level in math. So that is tremendous. Give them a round of applause. And Mrs. A. Pappas, we have 2 Miss Pappases here at Cliffwood. So Mrs. A. Pappas is in room 20, and she was our Cliffwood School Teacher of the Year in 2020, and she did a fantastic job like she always does, and I'm especially proud of the kids from homeroom 20. So that's why they were selected.
The New Jersey Open Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or agreed upon. In accordance with the provision of this act, the Matawan-Aberdeen Regional School District Board of Education advertised this meeting on January 8, 2021 in the Asbury Park Press and the Star Ledger. This notice was sent to the municipal clerks of the Borough of Matawan and the Township of Aberdeen and the Matawan-Aberdeen Public Library. The notice was also placed on the district's website. Ms. Case, can we have roll call?
Mr. Eghart?
Here.
Dr. Delaney?
Here.
Ms. Files?
Here.
Ms. Friedman?
Here.
Ms. Martinez?
Here.
Mr. Montone?
Here.
Ms. Powell?
Here.
Ms. Osborne?
Present.
Mrs. Scully?
Here. Okay. Can I get a motion and a second to accept the minutes from the special meeting on December 2nd, 2021, regular action meeting December 20th, 2021, executive session December 20th, 2021?
All motion.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Can we do roll call? Okay, we're good. Okay. Correspondence to the board. Can I get a motion and a second to accept the correspondence?
So moved.
I'll second. Okay. With that, we'll move to the student representatives report. Mr. Perlwin?
Hello, Board of Ed. I'm very excited to be speaking with you all again for the first time in 2022. January and the coming months have been and will be very exciting for all of our district schools. As always, we will start at Matawan Regional High School. The midterms are coming up this week and will conclude on Tuesday of next week. Thursday, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday are all half days because of this. In the coming month, MRHS will have their Mr. Matawan competition, their variety show, and their Winter Spirit Week. Recently, their speech and debate team was very successful at their first tournament of the year at Ridge High School, and the drama, The Curious Savage, was a huge hit. The high school is also proud to congratulate senior Ryan Segala on breaking the school's indoor mile record as he ran at 4:31. Matawan hopes to keep up their athletic wins as winter sports conclude and spring sports begin. At MAMS, their student equity team has released their first podcast and is very excited to say they will be screening their second documentary on February 10th at 6 p.m. in the auditorium. The African American Student Union is preparing for Black History Month by creating their bulletin board, Road to History, along with 4 videos about different topics related to Black History Month. They'll wrap up their celebrations with a virtual assembly, including all of MAMS, on Friday, February 25th. The MAMS Equity Team, Peer Buddies, Multicultural Club, Chorus, and Band will also be presenting. Also, 8th grade middle school students in the National Junior Honor Society will be working with 6th grade students during their study halls to discuss the MAMS experience in the peer mentoring program in the coming months. Finally, Mr. Wells in the middle school would like to thank the entire Matawan Aberdeen community for their love and support as they recently dealt with the loss of one of their students. As for Lloyd Road, their art and music enrichment programs are up and running, and students are meeting once a week during lunch. The PTO is doing a mid-year book fair from February 8th to 10th and a Title I family game night on February 9th. Over at Strathmore, students have begun their winter ready an assessment as the 2nd and 3rd grade art club is into its 2nd session, and the 3rd grade recorder club is making beautiful music. All the students at Strathmore have also been given a pedometer to track their steps and start a campaign to get moving by this PTO. Next is Ravine Drive, where they recently honored the star students of December for the theme of giving and sharing. They are also happy to see the 3rd grade engineering club and the 2nd and 3rd grade STEAM club up and running and meeting regularly. Recently, students and staff celebrated the 80th day of school by getting decked out in their 80s gear. Here at Cliffwood, the Star Student Ceremony was recently held as they recognized 18 students for the theme of caring and another 18 students for the theme of generosity. Cliffwood is very proud of these students and their families and is very excited to hear from the teachers about the great things Cliffwood students have been doing. Finally, at Cambridge Park, students started the restaurant theme, and students are learning about how restaurants work by playing the roles of waiter, waitress, customer, and chef. To celebrate the hard work, Cambridge Park is planning a restaurant family night where families can come and play in the classrooms, which have been transformed into restaurants. Last Friday, the PTO brought the Turtleback Zoo to Cambridge Park, where students had the chance to learn about animals and their habitats. Hope you have all found this information adequate for my monthly report, and if you have any further questions, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we are going to move into executive session. Be it resolved that a closed session be convened for the purpose of discussing privacy, personnel, and legal matters. The subject matter of these discussions will be disclosed to the public when the reason for confidentiality subsides. Although the board cannot guarantee it, the length of the executive session is estimated to be 30 minutes, after which the public meeting of the board shall reconvene and proceed with business. Action will take place. Can I get a motion and a second to enter exec session?
I'll motion.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So with this, we're moving to Mr. Van Horn to present the Cliffwood School highlights.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. So I'm very excited to talk to you all tonight about a new program that we have starting at Cliffwood that actually formally starts today. And today was the first day of our PAWS program, PAWS. And here at Cliffwood, we are the Lions, so PAWS makes sense. And, hold on one second. Okay, so real quickly, what is our PAWS program? PAWS is the name for our PBIS program that we're going to be rolling out here at Cliffwood, starting actually today. It started last week with some school assemblies. I'll talk to you in a minute about those. But if you're not familiar with what PBIS is, it is Positive Behavior Interventions and Supports. That's what it stands for. And it is an evidence-based approach. It's not about gut feelings. It's not about, I think this is going to work. It's about evidence-based approach and integrating data, looking at all of our systems here as a school and our current practices, and really being honest and asking ourselves, is this what we're doing currently working best for our students and for our staff and for our families or not? And if it's not, then making changes and moving forward that way. All right, PBIS, Positive Behavior Intervention Supports, sounds like it's only about behavior, but it's not just about behavior. It's about much more than that. And one thing I want to make clear is a lot of the stuff that we're talking about, really, if you look at PBIS, it is a three-tiered framework. And you see that triangle on the right-hand side. We've been doing, and the Cliffwood staff have been doing a great work over the last few years with some of our students who represent those Tier 2 and Tier 3 learners. Those kids that need either in a group setting or an individualized setting that need a little bit extra support in one area of their school day. But one thing that we have not done as a school really is a Tier 1 program, meaning doing something for every single person in the building, and that's what we're moving towards right now. So we've been doing the Tier 2 program, we've been doing a Tier 3 program, but we haven't done something that benefits every learner in the building, and that's what we're moving towards. Being a Tier 1 program, what does that mean? Well, the most important thing is it means that every single learner in the building and every single adult, and that's important, every single adult is a part of the PAWS program. All right? So, when I talk about our recognition program in a second, that doesn't just mean the principal or the teachers or the school counselor or anything like that. It means every single adult, and on a normal day here at Cliffwood, we have 73 adults that work in the building. That means all 73 adults. That means everybody from the bus drivers to the instructional assistants, to the nurse, to the secretaries, to the lunch ladies. Every single person that works at Cliffwood School or interacts with our Cliffwood students is part of the PAWS program and has received, as of last week, all of our recognition or our PAWS tickets, and I'll talk about those in a second. But they're all part of a program, and so is every student in K through 3. It's about being proactive. It's about not being reactionary, and when something that is less than ideal happens, having a reactive approach, but being proactive. It's about looking at data, talk about that in a second, and it's about clear expectations. This or the expectations was the focus of the school assemblies that we had last week. So we did 4 school assemblies, one for K, first, second, and third, and we talked about exactly what are our expectations for Cliffwood students in all of these different settings, and it focused really on our 4 core values, which I'll get to in a second. But what I'm really excited about is the next 3 bullets. The consistency, the common language. We've had teachers doing phenomenal work in their own space for years. But it's been different from one classroom to another classroom when the kid goes to specials, when the kid enters the lunchroom, when the kid goes home on the bus. There's a different set of rules, a different set of standards, a different set of expectations. So we're getting now on the same page as a school for our kids. So we're going to be using the same language. We have had classrooms where kids work to earn stars, warm fuzzies. When I first got to Cliffwood, we had clip up and clip down charts or class dojo systems and things like that. We are moving towards a uniform approach where the expectations are clear, and as kids navigate the grades, okay, it's consistent, and we don't have to reteach certain things. It's already taught, it's already known by our learners. And the thing that I'm most excited about, and hopefully our students are most excited about, is acknowledging our kids when they are meeting our expectations or even exceeding our expectations. Okay, what have we done so far? We have talked as a staff. We've talked as a staff about this PAWS program getting off the ground for more than a year. All right? This is not something that's just please understand, this is not just a Mark Van Horn production. That's not at all what it is. I've talked this over at length with our climate and equity team. We have reviewed the data. When kids are struggling, where are they struggling in our building? In which settings? In which subjects? Which time of day? All that data is available to us. We have decided on core values. That'll be the next slide in a second. All right. We've ordered our materials. Last week we held important class assemblies for K1, second, and third, and we actually started with our tickets today. So we want to make it fun. We want the kids to be excited. We want them to be engaged. And if you leave today and you go not outdoor 16, but you go up closer to the main office, you'll see the clear bins labeled PAWS tickets for K, for first, for second, and third. And you'll see we already have a couple of tickets that were already handed out to our learners today. kids were coming down the hallway, they were giving me high fives, they were saying, I got a safe ticket, I got a safe ticket, I got a kindness ticket, I got a kindness ticket. Okay, our core 4 values are, and you'll see it spells out pause, okay? We feel, as a school, that everything that we want Cliffwood students to be falls into 4 categories. Anything that you can really think of comes back down into 4 categories, and that means students either being respectful, responsible, safe, or kind. And when we talk to the kids here at Cliffwood, we are constantly stressing responsibility, respect, safety, and kindness. Those are our 4 core values that we're constantly speaking about with the kids. But you can't just say to 5 through 8-year-olds, be respectful, be responsible. Safety and kindness, they're a little bit easier, but some of those other concepts are a little bit harder to teach or to expect. So we have to be very explicit about what does that look like for a 5-year-old? What does that look like for a 7-year-old? And then you got to break it down even further. And you got to talk about, well, what does it look like in the classroom? Okay, and you got to give specific examples. And then you've got to do some role playing, which is what we did in the school assemblies last week. You got to act it out. You got to demonstrate it. You got to make it fun for the kids. I'm not going to go through all these. Okay. All right. Then you got to talk about one of my 2 big favorites, the cafeteria. So what does it look like to be safe in the cafeteria? What does it look like to be responsible in the cafeteria? Recess, everybody loves recess. In the hallway, stuff that sometimes you think, I don't have to teach that. My kids should know how to do that. We decided that doesn't work. We're going to teach explicitly how do you navigate the hallway. This is my other favorite besides the cafeteria is the bathrooms. Okay. So how does it look like to be responsible in the bathrooms? On the bus, we have new signage that's scheduled to go up throughout the building in the next few weeks. And also, all those slides that you just saw, I'm not the best presenter in the world, I understand that. And I tried not to bore all the kids with it last week going through them. So those slides right there that you just saw, those very detailed slides, all of our teachers have those slides too, and those are part of morning meeting for the next week or so. So it's one area of focus per morning meeting, so that the teachers can go back and they can revisit that, and they can have impromptu little lessons if they need to. All right. But that's all great to talk about, well, we think you should do this, kids, and we want you to be that, kids, and we think that you're capable of doing X. But how do we get our learners, how do we get the 340 friends who attend Cliffwood every day excited about demonstrating those core values? We're going to do it through our incentives program. And right here, I have an example of a stack that every adult who interacts with Cliffwood's kids got on Friday afternoon. All right, you'll see there's 4 different colored tickets here. There's red, blue, green, and yellow. So there's respect tickets, responsibility tickets, safe tickets, and kindness tickets. Everybody has these. Any adult should be carrying these and is able to hand these out to students when they see a Cliffwood line demonstrating those qualities. The tickets are kind of long. They have a dashed line down the middle. You can usually fold and rip in half or cut or do whatever. Half the ticket goes home. I stress to the kids, and I want our teachers to stress to the kids, this should be celebrated at home. Go home. In my house, we have a refrigerator. We have a bunch of magnets that are shaped like animals from when they were this big. All right, put it on there. Tell a grown-up at home why you got recognized by your teacher. Why did the school nurse hand you a responsibility ticket? All right, talk about it, brag about it, celebrate it. The other side of the ticket goes into one of the clear bins. Teachers can pick a time during the day when learners can visit the main office and be proud and dump their ticket that they earned into the bins outside of the main office. Every single Friday, starting this Friday, we have celebrations that are going to happen. If you're around on a Friday between 12:30 and 2 o'clock and you want to be part of it, okay, we're going to visit each of the 4 lunches, and we are going to randomly pull a number of tickets out of the bins and really celebrate the kids that have been doing a great job day in and day out here at Cliffwood. All right? The stuff that they win when they get their names pulled, first of all, I told them all, what a better way to go into the weekend than having the principal call home on a Friday afternoon and say, hey, Johnny got celebrated because, Miss Pappas said that he was responsible. He did all of his homework this whole week, every single day, earned a responsibility ticket. All right? We have drawstring bags. We have wristbands. We have notepads that are shaped. We have Cliffwood water bottles. We've got pencils and much more. Plus, we recognize that not every student is going to get their name pulled out of the bins every single week. So we're also working together as a whole school. We're keeping tallies of classes, of grades, and of the whole school. And we're going to have certain benchmark numbers that we hope to achieve. And with those, kids can earn different prizes or different rewards, whether it's extra recess time, theme days, so on and so forth. Oh, that's our new mascot. If you don't know, that's Cliff. Okay, that was a school vote. That's Cliff right there, and he's coming to the Friday celebrations during lunches as well. If you want to be Cliff, shoot me an email. All right, Dr. Mike is Cliff. All right, just a couple of questions that have come up to me as we've navigated rolling out this pause program. You might have the same questions. Does having a positive behavior and intervention support program mean that we've eliminated school discipline? This is one that people have asked me about. No, it does not. Okay? Consequences still exist for when we misbehave or we do something that we don't meet our level, our expectation. But we as a staff are committed to constantly learning and constantly improving, asking ourselves, well, why is that happening? What could we do better next time? We're trying to be, I put that word in the slide purposely in the beginning, we're trying to be proactive. We're trying to teach rather than react. That's the key. And lastly, are other Cliffwood traditions going away in place of this? No, we are continuing with our Start Student program that we're very proud of. We recognize kids each month for different themes that go a little bit beyond our 4 core values. Like we just had generosity. We just had caring the month before. We have a perseverance theme. We have all different themes that go a little bit different, and we're still going to continue with those. Our school counselor does a great job of leading those monthly lessons, and we're going to continue with the Star Student program. All right, so just to summarize, everybody gets involved. For years, we've been doing stuff for a smaller number of students, but now we're going to do something that reaches out to every single adult, every single kid at Cliffwood. The expectations are very clear right now. Consistency and a common language are key. We're going to acknowledge those kids when they're meeting our expectations, when they're doing that great work every single day. We're going to celebrate, and we're going to continue to look at our data. And if something's not working or something stands to be improved on, then we're going to make those changes as needed. That's it. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Van Horn. This program sounds very exciting. I like the idea that it brings the whole school together. The idea of consistency, I think, is great, because especially with young ones, I think that's so important. The idea of giving them incentives, like real incentives, like those, not just a paper certificate, I think is fantastic. I know my kids, when they were little, would have loved this. They would try for the bag or the armband, like they would love it. So I really love this idea, and I don't know if any other board members wanted to say anything.
I like the consistency across the board. I think us as a district, we should have a conversation about that, especially when the children go from the elementary schools to, let's say, they're going to go into Lloyd Road, they're going to go into the middle school. And I do believe that everything should be the same across the board. So whatever rules happen here at Cliffwood should be at Lloyd Road, should be at the middle school, should be at the high school, as far as disciplinary actions, how the conduct in lunch, the conduct in the hallways, the bathrooms, those things, I think could be, consistency is key for all of the districts. So thank you for that. It was very nice, and I do like your presentation.
I was just going to say also, I like that it involves all the adults in the building, that beyond the teaching staff, that, I mean, everybody, I'm assuming everybody could give a ticket.
Stressing that.
That's
Everybody,
great.
it's not the principal and then the teachers, it's, everybody is on the same level.
That's cool.
The kids, they learn that from early on here at Cliffwood, that we treat everybody with the same respect.
That's great.
Mr. Van Horn, just real quick, are the other elementary schools looking into possibly doing this, or is this per school, per principal's type of thing, or?
I can't speak for the other schools. It's something that we've been talking about doing here at Cliffwood for some time.
Okay.
I will say this, that a lot of the materials, a lot of the prizes that talk about the incentives, a lot of the signage, a lot of that kind of stuff, it does come funded through Title I.
Oh, okay.
Which Cliffwood is and the other two schools
Right.
are not.
Right.
So that's one distinction that we have from Stratford Ruby.
Got it. Okay. Great. Thank you. Love it. Thank you. Okay. That brings us to the board president's report. This past week has been an incredibly difficult and emotional week for this school district. Our community has lost a second young MAM student within 2 months. Our thoughts go out to the family and friends of James Collins, another precious child who will be greatly missed by many. Thank you to the administration, staff, and entire school community. The level of support and care displayed has been incredible. I'd also like to thank our students, because having a sixth grader, I have seen firsthand the support they've given one another during this trying time. What's so amazing about the Matawan and Aberdeen community is how we all come together and support each other when we need it most. And this has been very apparent over the past couple of months. Together, we will help each other through this. I wanted to say, if you feel your child needs help, I do encourage you to please reach out to your child's counselor or building principal. And I don't just mean MAMs, because I think it's a ripple effect, and I think other children in other schools are also feeling it. Since last week, we have had members of the district crisis team, which includes school counselors, social workers, school psychologists, and administration on hand at school, after school, as well as at the services. On Friday, we saw a little over 100 children. We also implemented a therapy dog program for our sixth grade students as another way to provide them support as they try to process what has happened. And I can't tell you how exciting that is for the children, and it really is great therapy for them. Parent resources have also been helpful. We put them up on the district website. They were sent out to the families as well. With that, I'm asking if we could all join and have a moment of silence for James. Now we will move on to curriculum and instruction. Mr. Bombardier.
Good evening. Beginning with Part A, travel. We have one staff member attending the Texpo Conference. We have one staff member attending the Rowan Institute for Educational Leadership Conference. One staff member attending the NJ8HPERG Annual Conference. One staff member attending the Synergistic Training. One staff member attending the Tour Leader Training, and one staff member attending the Making Your Best Use of Google Classroom to Strengthen Your Math Instruction Training. Moving on to Part B of curriculum instruction, we are asking the board to approve resolutions 1 through 3 as indicated. And that is all for curriculum and instruction.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
A motion.
I'll second.
Any questions or comments from the board? Okay, with that, we're,
I have a question.
sure, Ms. Austin.
Part B, number 2. Did we have any clarity going into that discussion we had with the student?
Yes. so all the necessary paperwork in terms of insurance and in terms of the approvals to have the parent and guardian serve in the role have all been fulfilled, as well as background checks and volunteer forms. All paperwork have been completed.
Thank you.
Student Services.
Ms. Perez?
Good evening. Under Student Services, under items number 1 and 2, we have additional items in red from our previous meeting that are move on to page 2. Under item number 3, we're asking for board approval for CBI trips, and under item number 4, we're asking for approval for the following tuition rebill at the Children's Center. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from the board? No? Okay, personnel, Mr. Liebman?
Thank you. Good evening. Under Personnel, Section A, Resignations and Retirements, we ask that the board approve 2 additional resignations as listed in red. Under Section B, Leave of Absence, we're asking the board to approve additional names in red. 6 names are listed in red on the bottom of page 1 of 6, continuing on the top of page 2 of 6. Under Section C, Appointments, number 1, New Hires, we're asking the board to approve the 2 new hires as listed in red. Item number 2, Extracurricular Activities, we're asking the board to approve 2 staff members listed on the bottom of page in red. Moving on to page 3 of 6, nothing new for item 3. However, item number 4, Chaperones for the June 2022 high school graduation, we're asking the board to approve all staff members that are listed. Item number 5, under C&I high school curriculum, revisions and standard updates, 1 staff member listed. Item number 6, C&I high school data analysis, PD committee for 21-22, staff members that are listed on the bottom of page 3. Item number 7, college student teachers, observers, and interns for the 21-22 school year. 3 names are listed with their cooperating staff member and locations. Nothing new under item 8. Number 9, we're asking the board to approve 1 additional substitute for the 21-22 school year for a substitute school and bus driver. Item number 10, staff array changes. We're asking the board to approve staff array changes that are in red. This is on the bottom of page 4, continuing on through page 5. And on page 6, nothing new under number 11. Under item D, we're asking the board to approve item number 3, which is listed in red. That concludes the personnel agenda.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments from the board? Okay, moving on to finance, Ms. Case?
We'll take action on the following items: payroll and bills for the month of December and January, transfer of fund status for November, board secretaries for the month of November, no major fund status for the month of November, board recognition for the month of January, approving the revised contract for all of our Monmouth County Voc students. 7 is the long-range facilities plan. 8 is the acceptance and award of a new student management system. Typically, we go out for an RFP, which means it would be request for lowest bidder. This time, we went out for a competitive bid contract for 3 different categories to ensure that we had technical criteria, management criteria, and cost criteria to ensure the safest program for our students. Genesis is the award winner for this, so we will be moving forward with them as of July. 9 will be the playground for Lloyd Road. This was part of the budget for last year. We are just moving forward with the purchase. 10 is the shared service agreement for CJ Pride, and 11 is the fire and evacuation drills for the month of December.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from the board? Okay. So next up is public comments, but before we move to that, I think we had one board member who wanted to say something. Ms. Friedman, did you want to say anything before we jump to?
It's not agenda related necessarily, but is related to board president's report. I was really impressed with the outpouring of support from the towns, from both towns, from even people outside of the towns. I know as a district, we've always tried to be very transparent with communication and make sure that people were aware of what was going on, really so that rumors don't start. And I was really disappointed and upset to see that somebody took this child's passing as an opportunity to try and turn it into something that it wasn't and should have never been used for. I don't know if that gives us pause as a board or as Dr. Micah to rethink some of the things that we say, but it was shocking to see that somebody would try and turn such a horrible thing to have happened into some type of politicized agenda, and that really concerned me. And I just really hope that that doesn't happen again, and we can continue as a community to come together to really work for the benefit of these kids and to make sure that they are taken care of mentally and physically, and that they understand all the tenets of the PAWS program. Very timely, Mr. Van Horn, and I wish we could spread it out into the community sometimes, but greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Now it's time for public comments relating to agenda items and additional matters. Just want to remind everyone again, we have 3-minute limit on the comments, allowing everyone a time to speak. And also, if you have specific questions relating directly to your child, if you can reach out to Dr. Micah directly. With that, the Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on matters of interest to the school community. Individuals wishing to speak must state their name and address. Comments are limited to 3 minutes duration, but an individual may speak a second time after all others who wish to speak on the topic have been heard. All statements should be directed to the board president, and no participant may address or question board members individually. All speakers are requested to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect for the dignity and privacy of others whose legal rights may be affected. Please note, while it is not the board's intention to stifle comment on matters of legitimate concern, the public should be aware that if their statements violate the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy, they may face personal liability to the injured party. If speakers are uncertain of the legal ramifications of their comments, the board urges them to seek guidance beforehand from their own legal advisor.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Cindy, Lloyd Road. So I have just a couple things I wanted to mention. When you guys talk up here, we really don't know who's talking. Like, I understand everyone has names, but everyone also has masks, so I'm not quite sure. So maybe we can come up with something. So when someone's speaking, maybe you could put something up, because like, I know you because you're the previous president, I know Diana, I know a couple, but everyone else, I have no clue, really, especially with your faces covered. I can't tell who is who, and I definitely can't tell who's speaking, except for the president, because her mic goes on, but no one else's does. So that was the first thing. The second thing I wanted to quickly go on about was I did see, and again, I don't know if Matawan Aberdeen School District is considering it, but I did see that some districts are rolling out some like new policy that after 5 days that your child can come back, but then that child has to be like isolated and put on a separate table when there's lunch, and can't participate in gym, and they do it for an additional 5 days. I just want to make sure that Aberdeen Matawan is not considering that policy. I do know that it's kind of rolled out in some other districts, because in my book, that's segregation. So I just want to make sure that we will not be doing that to the children of our district. Yeah? Okay. So the next thing I wanted to quickly go over was the mask policy. We all know that the governor's order is expiring. Well, it's supposed to expire February 11th. So just wondering if you guys have thought anything about what your next step is going to be. I know some districts have kind of been proactive and kind of already said, hey, we're going to go to mass choice as soon as it expires. So I was wondering like what your thoughts were on that. Are you considering it, or are you just going to wait until it expires and then you're going to have like a special session? I'm just kind of like wondering about that also. One other question. I also think that the fear is real for some staff members and for people in the administration. And I know a lot of concentration has been done with the children, like the children's mental health, because we know that's what's been affected by this. But I also think the admins and the teachers probably also have some fear, and I think that they may have fear with COVID policy ending, because it has to end sooner or later, right? It can't go on forever. So I was wondering if the district had any thought about what kind of counseling they may be offering for the admin or the teachers who do have this fear from, the COVID policy ending. And that's about it.
Okay, thank you. So in terms of when each, I'll just answer what I can, and then I can turn it to Dr. Micah too. When each person speaks, I think we can come up with, because it's a fair question, whether it's definitely everybody needs to put their mic on, whatever it is, just so you know who's speaking. So thank you for pointing that out. In terms of the new policy isolating a child, there's no intent to do that. The mask policy expiring on February 11th, I think we're kind of considering everything at this point. We're taking things into consideration, correct? Dr. Murphy?
Yes, and I mean, whatever February 11th brings us, we'll be prepared for. We still have a few weeks ahead of us, and we'll be in constant discussion up until that point. And if he extends it another 30 days or he doesn't, we're preparing for both of those. I mean, invariably, like you said, it's going to go by the wayside. Yeah.
And the counseling of the teachers.
Yes. Yes, so Mr. Lehman, would you like to answer that question?
Yes, we do have a plan in place, which has actively been in place for all of our staff members. That's at every level, including administration, teachers, bus drivers, aides. So yes, we do have a plan in place, and staff members do take advantage of it.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hi, Jennifer King, Schenck Avenue. Just a quick question, because as we were sitting here, we see kids and parents coming in for basketball, and I know we're required to wear, the masks in here, but we did see a lot of people coming in and out with them, without them. So I was just curious if there's a,
that's rec.
difference.
That's rec.
Okay, so it doesn't.
No.
Okay, so it doesn't apply just because they're in the school building.
Casey Baroka, I work at Lloyd Road. With regard to the masks, as a union president, I took it upon myself just to survey the members that I have. So we have about 450 members. Sent the survey out, had about 350 responses, I think, somewhere around 75% roughly. And the pulse of the staff was that currently, and this was basically, I sent it out on January 11th, January 10th, I believe. And the survey ran for a week, and it was 65% of the staff were in favor of the masks, meaning mandatory. 35% felt that it should be a choice. So the only reason I'm mentioning that is I can't speak for what teachers will do individually or what staff members will do. So I think it would be incumbent upon the board and the administration that if it were to come to where the governor said, hey, we're not doing this anymore, that I wouldn't want to see anybody where we have a staffing crisis because people choose to say, well, I'm going to go out on family medical leave because I have a prior condition and I need to take care of myself. I think we need to do our homework with that to find out where we're at, just so that if it does come to an end, we know whether we're short-staffed or not.
Thank you.
Cedar Warnicki, Iron Gate Lane. To me, that just sounded like a thinly veiled threat about teachers not showing up if there was mask optional. He said something about staffing shortages. I believe that every teacher has the opportunity to be vaccinated, and they are welcome to wear a mask, as is any student. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Well, I didn't plan on coming back up here, but I also didn't plan on being accused of making a threat. I think anybody who has worked with me on this board knows that I don't make threats. In fact, I make it a point that when I say that I'm going to do something, I always say that it's not a threat, that I'm just going to follow through whatever a procedure is. That wasn't a threat. If it was a threat, I would have held it back and not shared it with you. I'm letting you know ahead of time, so that way if there is a concern, that we have lead time to try and fix it. I haven't spoken to any of my members about what their intentions are, whether they would come back, not come back. I have no idea. I'm just sharing you with what raw data I have.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Anyone else like to speak? Okay. Any unfinished business? Anyone? No? Any new business?
Madam
Yes.
President?
Dr. Delaney?
I'd like to give the board something to think about, and we can talk about it next time. With this tragedy at the middle school, and my reflection on my experience on this board is, I seem, and I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am, we lose about one either student or a teacher per year. And I would like to propose that the board thinks about establishing a memorial forest or woods, either centrally in one spot or at each school. This would be planting a tree in honor of a deceased employee or student. And I'll see you next month.
Thank you. Anyone else? New business? Ms. Osborne?
I just want to say thank you to the entire staff here. It is very emotional to have to console children. My son is in the 6th grade as well, and this has affected him tremendously, where he didn't even want to go to school. So I thank you for supporting our entire community, not just the children in our school district, because it has affected our entire community. It's a lot, and it's heavy, and it's not just because a child, the parent, the cousins, the grandparents, the neighbors, the crossing guard, the teachers, everyone was affected, and we pulled together as a great community, and I just wanted to tell them thank you, because it is a lot, and it's going to be a lot for students over the next couple weeks, couple months. I'm just dealing with COVID, and also losing their friends. So I just want to tell the parents, just let your child have a moment. It's okay to have a moment. It's okay to have a mental health day. It's okay to stay home when you're not feeling like being out there. It's okay. Teachers do understand. They're a little more lenient. They do give the children a little more grace period with their work not being completed, because we understand it's hard for everybody. So I just want to say thank you, and I just can't say thank you enough. So, and Mrs. Osborne speaking.
Thank you, Ms. Osborne. Ms. Martinez? Yeah, I also wanted to I'm sorry? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm speaking. My turn. I also, too, wanted to say I had gone to the wake today, and I came and said to Jay and them to thank admin and all of the counselors, and it's just unbelievable to see how good these guys are and how they jump immediately. It doesn't matter. They leave their families, Sundays, nights, it doesn't matter. And, the other thing is that it's a reminder, and it's sobering to walk into something like this, because it makes you think all of the little things that go on during the day that are like a big deal, you think. It just reminds us, it's like a reality check on what's really important, and so it kind of brings you back, which I know we all could use. I know I use it. I needed it. It just reminds you that you know not to stress over things, because you look at that and there is nothing worse. So again, thank you to you guys. Appreciate it. We're going to move on to voting on agenda items, curriculum and instruction, student services, personnel, and finance. Okay, we're going to start with curriculum and instruction. Roll call.
Mr. Ahern?
Yes.
Dr. Delaney?
Yes.
Ms. Silas?
Yes.
Ms. Friedman?
I'm abstaining from curriculum and instruction number 1, and yes to the rest.
Thank you. Ms. Martinez? Yes. Mr. Montone?
Yes.
Ms. Pell?
Yes.
Ms. Osborne?
Yes.
Mrs. Scully?
Yes. Student services?
Mr. Ahern?
Yes.
Dr. Delaney?
Yes.
Ms. Silas?
Yes.
Ms. Friedman?
Yes.
Ms. Martinez?
Yes.
Mr. Montone?
Yes.
Ms. Pell?
Yes.
Ms. Osborne?
Yes.
Mrs. Scully?
Yes. Personnel?
Mr. Ahern?
In personnel on section B, fifth name down, no. All others, yes.
Understood. Dr. Delaney?
I would like to ditto Mr. Ahern. I agree with the same thing.
Understood. Ms. Silas?
In section B, fifth name down, I vote no. All else yes.
Understood. Ms. Friedman?
Same thing, personnel, section B, 5th name down, I vote no. Everything yes.
Understood. Ms. Martinez?
Hi, same thing. B, fifth one down, no. All else, yes.
Understood. Mr. Montone?
On personnel, B, leave of absence, fifth name down, no.
And the rest, yes?
Yes.
Ms. Pell?
Same things, section B, fifth name down, no, and then the rest yes.
Understood. Ms. Osborne?
Yes, except for section B, fifth name down, without K.
Understood. Mrs. Scully?
Same, section B, fifth name down, no. Everything else is yes.
Understood.
Finance?
Mr. Ahern?
Yes.
Dr. Delaney?
Yes.
Ms. Silas?
Yes.
Ms. Friedman?
Yes.
Ms. Martinez?
Yes.
Mr. Montone?
Yes.
Ms. Pell?
Yes.
Ms. Osborne?
Yes.
Mrs. Scully?
Yes.
Okay. Can I get a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye.